how much money you made from the most viral video. On just one video, you mean?
Yeah, just before Christmas, I was at risk of redundancy from my job. Obviously built a career over 10 years doing. It's not something that you easily just say goodbye to.
First of all, don't disrespect 9 to 5.
We really wanted to do a dream holiday, basically. We couldn't afford to do it.
But this should give you an idea of how much Charlotte is making. And she's probably going to retire in Dubai very soon. Because I know
it might need a few more viral videos before we do anything like that.
I think it's just the expectation of, going every video viral is not going to happen.
Right.
That video reached 9.5 million views.
With you just saying it there, I think, you know what, I've done all right, actually.
I'm sure you have done more than all right. Welcome to the Talkcast, guys, a show where you come to get inspired with a success stories of brands and creators on TikTok and leave with the inspiration to create your own success story. If you're joining for the first time, I'm your host, Charz, and today with me, I've got Charlotte, who goes with the name, profile name on the TikTok shop, Charz Review. Links to all the socials for the show and Charlotte's profile will be in the description below. So first of all, welcome to the show, Charlotte. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so excited to do this. It's so exciting. I've never done a podcast before though, Sarge, so I'm really excited to do a podcast with you.
It is great to have you. And as you know, you are the first one I'm interviewing as well. To start off with, I obviously want to start with the questions that we have planned for you. But I'm so tempted to actually start with a question or on a topic where you shared something recently on LinkedIn that in the month of November, there was a blog post you shared, and this was the official TikTok. You hit 1 million in GMV in just November alone. For someone who's never done TikTok shop before, if you don't know what GMV is, it's gross merchandise value. So in simple terms, it's a revenue. And Charlotte was able to do 1 million in sales in just 1 month. And for someone who thinks it's not much, trust me, this is a UK marketplace, so it's much smaller than the US marketplace. And I have been doing this for like 12 months. I've done 11 months of like proper live streaming and videos. And I was not able to hit 1 million in the entire year. So hitting 1 million in sales is a huge, huge achievement. So first of all, congrats with that. I will come back to that one later on because I want to save that for the later on. But what I want to start with is going back, rewinding a little bit and starting with one of the main questions is how did you get started with TikTok Shop? So what was your background before you started TikTok Shop?
So I was working a full-time job, law, really boring stuff, which we won't go on about too much. But I just joined TikTok in like COVID times, like when pretty much 99% of regular people decided to join the app, because before, of course, it was like a dancing app and people were following trends, and that's definitely not something that I would ever be doing. But then COVID struck, everyone was getting bored. So I joined TikTok. And then I was just making like really random videos reviewing sweets mostly. And then TikTok Shop started. I didn't really know too much about TikTok Shop. And then I saw a few videos of people doing TikTok Shop and I thought, I might have a go at this. But before I was just doing like a full-time regular 9-to-5 job. Yeah.
I think I remember because when we had our first conversation, I told you like you were one of the 3 people whom I was actually watching, live streams and everything, because you were always there in the early morning since I started looking at TikTok Shop. So you started creating content. So I'm assuming, was that like an affiliate marketing thing? Like, were you doing links to other products, like say on the other marketplace? Or was it just like, because I saw in early days, you had some videos, I think it was Lidl. You used to shop around at, or LD, one of them.
No, just for
It was one of them for sure.
Yeah, just for fun. I just bought products and just, this is what new is in here, and let's have a look at this. And small businesses like sweets, pick and mix sweets was really like big back in 2022. So I loved sweets. So I kind of just bought them and did videos on it. I went to Wilkinson's and did like a pick and mix there, and it got like millions of views just from doing pick and mix sweets in a cup and stuff like that. So it was crazy, but none of it had links or none of it was brand deals or anything like that. It was just me having fun and with content and just seeing what happened.
That's great to hear. And I think most of the time it does happen like that. Either people are creating some kind of content before just like for fun, or they're just doing it as a hobby. And then suddenly they come across TikTok Shop and they think, oh, I can actually monetize this. And I have been creating, I think I probably started creating content at the same time, as you said. It was like, I think March of 2020, although I started a little bit of YouTube. So I thought I wanted to create some, for years you have been looking at like, say, unboxing videos and whatever type of content you like. And I started creating some videos, but the only thing I knew at that time was like from my previous experience, which was selling on Amazon. And, I thought, okay, I can try a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of finance books. And I think because at that time people were starting to look at side hustle kind of videos and lot. So that's how I started. I had no idea what TikTok Shop was. Maybe they sent me like once a invite, but I didn't even understand what it was. I just thought it's just like selling on eBay. People have got their own shops and everything. And that's what they're basically doing, online. So it's great to hear. When you started doing that, were you still in that law job, but just because obviously you're working remotely because of the 2020 scenario?
That was it. I was working permanently from home. I've just moved actually from Leicester, which I think you might be familiar with. Leicester. Moved from Leicester to Norfolk. So I was working remotely anyway, working from home. We're having no contact with the outside world. So I was still doing that. But then TikTok was kind of like an escape to just do something a little bit different because it was very, very weird times back when COVID was around.
Right. So fast forwarding to a little bit right now. So you then somehow come across TikTok Shop and you think, okay, similar stuff. I'm just going to put the links and everything. So when you started that, was that kind of a plan that did you ever think that this would actually become like your full-time gig, or was it just like you want to supplement your income? Or is it still at that fun stage? You're just creating the videos just for fun and you're just having a look whether it can actually make any money?
So I saw a product on someone's video. It was a shower head and I needed a new shower head. So I purchased it from them and I decided, because I was reviewing products anyway, I thought, oh, I'll now link it to my video. And it blew up crazy because it was so easy to go viral back when TikTok Shop first started. It was so easy back then. I wish it was like that now, but and it just went crazy. And then I was like, oh, well, this shower head's like what, £10 or something like that. But when you sell a lot, I was like looking at the money. I was like, hold on a second, this is really good. I'm going to do something else. But I was staying in my full-time job. I never dreamed. I'm like, no, I did dream. I really would have loved it to be a full-time job. But I really never thought that I'd be able to do it because I'm just a regular person. You don't feel like what would be special about me and being like an influencer or whatever. So I just did it for fun. And I thought if I can make a little bit of extra income, it would be brilliant because me and my husband were working full-time jobs. We really wanted to do a dream holiday, basically. We couldn't afford to do it. So I thought if I do a little bit more on TikTok Shop, maybe I will get that dream holiday. And that's what I then was working towards. And that's what drove me to carry on, because I thought I would be able to use that as a bit of like a side hustle, a little bit of extra cash in our pocket to be able to afford this holiday. And that was the goal. The goal was never to quit my job, although it would have been amazing to do that straight away. But it was never the goal. It was just to do this holiday. That's what I thought I could use TikTok Shop to do.
I think most do kind of start side hustles or something new, kind of just to supplement something, because for someone, it might be just paying off that mortgage a little bit quickly. For someone, it might be just like you said, like a holiday, that you can spend a little bit more on holiday or kind of improve a little bit quality. But most of the time, it is kind of really hard to kind of completely go off your jobs or something. I think for young people, it's really easy. For youth or students who have just basically starting as a first job, they can probably dive 100% straight in because it's quite easy. And they have nothing to lose, right? Even if they're just making videos the entire day, it's like no risk for them at all. So it is quite interesting. And I think from my previous industry as well, I've seen most people when they started, selling online, any kind of physical products or even like digital products, it's always been a similar part to what you have said, that they started something and something clicked. But I wanted to ask you, because you said your first video blew up. So basically that was your first video that went viral. Do you kind of remember how many views you got on that by any chance? Because I've seen older videos which people have done, sometime even if it's like a green screen, they were getting like millions of views. So I'm not sure what your experience was.
One of my most viral videos back when I started was just a green screen video. Crazy, just saying, there was a £5 mystery sweet box. And because I was doing sweets already in my content, the audience was there and it just went crazy. But that was just from a green screen video. Then when the box arrived, it was like double bubble there for me as well. But it was only a £5, but the commission was still, we don't sniff at it. It was great. But yeah, because I started so early on in 2022, the chance of going viral with like one or two videos was so much higher because there was hardly anybody doing it. Obviously now every man and his dog is doing it, so it's a lot more difficult. But so my first video on the shower head definitely must have got up there. I don't really look at the views that much, but it definitely was viral. It must have been 1 million easy. I'd be surprised if it was less. I'd just be surprised if it was less than a million, because obviously it's so long ago. I've got
Yeah.
to scroll back a long way to check, but it was one of the first videos I did, the shower head, definitely.
I think I'm sure back then, because it's like demand and supply. And I think at that time, the biggest thing, if you see, even as the app TikTok kind of emerged a big player because of what happened in 2020, everyone was at home, more viewing time and everything. And I think a lot of people were cutting down on streaming services to save some money, where TikTok and some other, platforms are free to watch. So you saw that a big shift. People had more time in their house to kind of watch different kind of content. And it's so great to see the transition, like what you said. So even when I heard about TikTok as well, I just thought it was about that lip syncing music videos and everything. How long did it take for you to kind of reach at a point where you said, okay, this is now my full-time gig. I can let the law bit, which I'm sure you must be making good money in law. I'm pretty sure about that. I know it's a bit boring field, because I was into accounting, which was too boring as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of my accountant friends are definitely making a lot of money. So how long did it take for you to kind of finally have that leap of faith, that you can do this full time now and you want to let go your law?
I could have done it a lot earlier than what I did, because the security of having a job that I'd obviously built a career over 10 years doing, it's not something that you easily just say goodbye to. However, I was put in a position where I was like, this is a sign for me to go and do this full time. So just before Christmas, I was at risk of redundancy from my job. And it was a massive sign to me that this could be the opportunity for me to do TikTok and put everything into it. Because if I'm not going to have a job anyway, whilst I would be looking for something else, I could put a lot more effort into TikTok Shop. So I could have gone way earlier than what I did, but because of the circumstances, I took it as a sign to go anyway. So my job was at risk of redundancy. I wasn't actually made redundant. I chose at that point to leave of my own accord. Now, that could have been a mistake, but it was a mistake at that time that I was willing to take a risk on. But obviously it paid off, but you wouldn't have known that. I just took it as a sign. But if I wasn't at risk of redundancy at the time that I was, I have no idea when I finally would have just gone, I'm leaving. I don't know when that would have been, but I thought, okay, in January, it would have been happening, whether I was redundant or not. So it was a new year. I thought, okay, they said, you can keep your job. I said, actually, I'm going to leave. So in January, I left, and here we are now. Obviously, it's about 2023. So yeah.
So that was January 2023, right?
Yeah.
And you started doing TikTok Shop in what month? In 2022, or was that start of 2022?
Mid 2022, I started doing TikTok Shop, and that's when I was saving for my holiday and everything like that. Then towards the end of 2022, I found out I was at risk of redundancy. Then 2023 in January, that's when I did TikTok Shop full time. So it's quite a short period of time, but just with TikTok Shop, as you know, it could be quite up and down. I'm someone that likes consistency. I like to know how much is going in my bank every single month. So for me to take a risk like that, just randomly, I don't know if I would have done it. It was only the circumstances that I was put in that made me push and go, you know what? I'll take it as a sign. I'll do it. The worst case is, I suppose I could ask for my job back, or I could do something else. Obviously, I'm not needed to do that. I've got all my experience in my mind. I could always go back and do it later, I suppose.
Right. It's such inspiring. And I think you are right. I think at that time, I think it's just not your scenario. But if you remember at that time, a lot of people were coming on social media and talking about it, that either they have been made redundant because the company couldn't survive that 2 years of not being able to make money. A lot of business kind of went down. I think even especially the physical stores, like mom and pop kind of small bakeries and everything. I had seen so many videos at that time that were going down. And I think it is kind of a blessing in disguise, like you said, because TikTok, yes, it can be up and down, but once you do it and you start seeing that money rolling in, that, you can make money out of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't take time for you to believe that it's not possible. Within the first month or so, you can definitely believe. If you remember when I spoke to you for the first time on WhatsApp, I said the first time I contacted you was not being a creator. I actually opened a TikTok shop, and I reached out to you, Sarah, and a couple of other people asking if you guys will promote. And initially, I think you responded quite early, to be honest, but most of the others, like Sarah, responded after 2 months.
Oh my God.
Till that time, I think till that time, I had actually closed my shop.
Oh,
But at that time, I thought, why are people not responding? But it's only after you become creator, and especially if you are a big creator, you realize how many messages you get per day. But so it was quite, and to be honest, my idea was not even basically to sell something on the TikTok shop. It was just that I had those Ring doorbells, which I used to sell on the other platform, and they suddenly decided that you can't sell that. So I had that inventory lying worth, I think, 20,000-30,000 pounds worth that I couldn't do anything. So I thought before, and because I come from Amazon world, I used to do a podcast and teach few people, about selling on Amazon as well. So I thought I can probably use this as a, case study, open up a shop there, and then I'll just make a YouTube channel or a TikTok kind of profile just to show people that now you can sell on TikTok. So that's why I wanted to start, not basically being a creator. And it's just that some people, I gave the samples. You already had a sample. I still have your screenshot because you said you already have a Ring doorbell. So you never asked for a sample on that one. But someone did ask for it. And then the person started selling. I'm not going to name it here. But the person was giving out like wrong information. And he was mainly selling it with a way that you can always return it if you don't like it. And I'm thinking, I'm coming from, a place where returns are so easy that people even return broken stuff. So I told him, don't say too much about it. Yes, they know they have 1 year warranty. But if you're just selling it based on, returns basis, then I'm going to have a big part of returns that I cannot then use it. Because especially with the Ring products, once you activate it, it's attached to your profile. I can't even sell it. It's like a brick. It just completely goes to like recycling center. That's it. You can't do anything with it. So, but I'm glad that happened, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have, decided to start doing the TikTok shop. Then December, I completely stopped after doing 2-3 days because I thought now the Ring doorbell is on offer on all the other places. People are going to return it. So I didn't go live. But then I saw you were selling those astronaut projectors.
Oh, God.
So do you remember how popular it was that year?
Yeah, it was crazy.
People. Yeah, so I bought one from you, and I think the phone I might have bought directly from ePhone's live stream, which was the Infinix Smart 7. And I bought the projector and the Pretom tablet from your live stream. So that's how it all began. But I didn't go live until January, to be honest, because it was too late for me to start.
You've got a very good memory.
Yeah, I do. I dig into like, the old, when I started and what was the first products and everything. But enough of my rant. Let's just get back to your story, because I want this podcast obviously to be about your story. So very quickly, you said you that was your first or second video went viral. So it must have not taken much time for you to get your first sale.
No, I was very, very lucky. It all happened straight away, definitely, yeah.
Right. I'm going to talk a little bit about samples, because I know the majority of the complaints that I see on most of the TikTok groups and videos and everything, when someone who's starting out, they're all complaining that, they're not getting samples. Back when you started, obviously it was not like that. And I'm assuming, samples were not easy to receive at that time as well. So did you just kind of start buying, which I'm assuming you would have?
Yeah, so I bought most of my stuff, all the green screen, and then I spent a £5, but that's hardly anything. But I only really did I still do it now, like the bargain stuff. So I didn't really spend that much money to get started. Sample requests as well were limited to it was either like 5 or 10 or something like that. And then, like you say, they would take ages to even look at it. Then you probably get declined and stuff because, they're looking at GMV, all that kind of stuff, or your followers. Like my follower count would be hardly anything at that point as well. I wouldn't be like up there. Didn't have 100,000 followers or anything like that. So I would have got declined anyway. And for the sake of the stuff I was buying that was like 10, 20 quid, I could buy it. I could get it. If you believe in a product, buy it. If you think you can sell it, buy it, because you'll make your money back. Like, what's the point of asking for a free sample for something that's going to cost 10 quid? If you've got 10 quid, buy it, you'll make your money back. If you don't believe in the product, then just don't get it in the first place. That's my opinion anyway.
I think, to be honest, most people can start with samples, which are like day-to-day products, which we are going to come back to one of your most, like, not one of the most, because you got so many, seriously. It's hard to pick which viral video to kind of discuss. But like one of the videos that we're going to show later on is your tissue bundle roll, right? I mean, that's something, even if you are not able to make sales, it is something you're going to use day-to-day basis. So, the reason why I asked this question is because I think for anyone who wanted to start this, they are treating this as any other business that you have to buy the inventory. But the best part is the inventory or whatever the first 10, 15, 20 pounds, I think anyone can start TikTok shop at less than 100 pounds. Easily, I think even less than 50 pounds, because most of the products you said are 5 or 10 or 15 pounds, most like that. And that's the range which sells most, because most of them are like essentials, which people will not think too much. They are products that people buy. So I think if you are someone who's already started TikTok shop and you think that you're not getting samples and you're getting denied, just start with one of the most basic products, which you will use anyways.
Exactly, yeah. If you might even have some of the stuff in TikTok shop already in your house. It doesn't cost you anything.
Okay, so since we already talked about that tablet, the tissue bundle roll, what I want to show you is a couple of videos. I've kept one, which is probably your candy video, which you mentioned earlier on, but we'll leave that for the last. But first, I want to show you everyone the videos that have gone viral. Now, as I said, it's hard to pick and choose Charlotte's video because she's got so many videos. There are like 1 million views. Let's see one of the a couple of Charlotte's video, and then we'll ask her some questions about that. So how you plan your videos and stuff. And we'll talk about what GMV you hit, if you're comfortable, how much commission you made on them as well, if you are comfortable with them. But let me just share the video first.
Of the kitchen rolls, these are the glory ones, the super soaker. And then you're getting 45 toilet rolls. Now, these will be the 3-ply luxury roll. You'll either get softies, cuddle, or cloud. And this time I've got the softies. But you get 45 of those. All for 20 quid and free delivery. I'll tag the deal in the yellow basket just above my name. 10 out of 10.
Now, this video went quite a bit of viral. You have 5.8 million views on that. Let's talk about that, Charlotte. How did you plan that video? Did you have any script you decided? How did that video come along? Or did you actually expect that it's going to hit like 5 million views? In fact, almost 6 million views now.
I didn't expect it to hit that kind of numbers, but I've got that bundle deal so many times before, so I just know the products inside out. I mean, they're not that difficult to know about anyway. It's only blue roll, kitchen roll, toilet roll. But I know that it's great value for money and it's a fantastic price. People need it. Most people need it. So it's kind of like a winner situation anyway. So I didn't have any script. I never write a script for any of my videos because it's so unnatural. So you want to be authentic and your true self always. Never write a script because it's just so fake. And you can kind of tell the people that do that and it's just...
And I think you are right. Never used to like write the script, but as you can see, I'm not like, my first language is not English. I do speak decent English, but sometimes, I'm out of words. So I have to kind of think about what I'm going to say. But I think based on how many videos in your live streams I've seen, I think your success is mainly about not thinking too much. As you said, you're genuinely buying those products for your home usage. And that kind of comes out much more naturally when you're speaking, and it's much more relatable. Yes, you have things in your background sometimes when you shoot, so people do know that you're promoting this as a TikTok shop creator. I think that's what I have probably learned from your videos of being more natural. Where we see some of your other videos, you're quite natural when you're speaking. You're not probably pre-thinking of what you're going to talk about. Yes, you might have edited a little bit while you're going through different, sections of that video, but it comes out very naturally when you're talking about it.
Oh, well, thank you for that. But it's not that difficult. When it's those kind of products, it's not difficult. If it was a smartphone or a tablet that's got a lot of information, yeah, okay, it might take me like 2 or 3 takes to get the information out because I stumble my words a lot. Like, I'm actually not the best speaker. I never have been. Don't think I ever will be, to be honest. I'm actually doing really well on this call because normally I like can't get the words out, like blah, blah, blah. So sometimes if there's a lot more information on something and I want to make sure I give all the information, it will take me a few takes, but I don't write it down and read it because I feel like it would come across. But I would never think that you would have written anything down and read it off a script or anything like that.
It's good to know that. I thought basically because it's not my first language, I kind of stumble and everything a lot when I'm recording. So it's quite refreshing to know that it does actually happen quite a lot. And especially like you said, if it's a tech product, yes, you need to kind of at least learn what the specs are and, like you are saying the right things. But when it comes to like tissue bundle roll and everything, I'm sure I'll still struggle to create the videos with such an ease that you have done in this video. But it's good to know that for other people as well who are starting out, if they're getting discouraged, like it's taking a lot of time for them to kind of edit some videos and stuff like that. So on an average, can I ask you, like, how much time would you usually spend on a video like that? Right from, like, say, picking up the product and before you upload it?
Not very long. Like, I know people say they spend ages editing videos. I literally don't spend anywhere near any kind of time, like maybe 5 minutes at most if I need to trim it down because I start waffling or something like that. But I don't spend hardly any time. The most time is adding a silly sound to it and typing some text on it. And then the caption and all the hashtags, that's the bit that takes me the time. The actual filming of the video,
it doesn't take you much time. So that's kind of the secret. That's your secret of putting in like 3 to 5 videos every day, I believe.
It's easy.
Because if you had to spend 1 hour like me.
I have a lot of practice. So for me, I've been doing it since 2022. So for me, it's easy to just pick up a product and film a video on it that I've been using already. If I know it inside out already, like that toilet roll bundle deal, I love it. I bought it loads of times. It's easy for me to talk about it. So I shouldn't struggle spending hours like, oh, well, I don't know what to do. Just pick it up and talk about it because I believe in the product. And if you believe in the product, like I say, and you use the product and you know the product, it's very easy to do a video on it.
Yeah, when you know something like you're talking about, it comes quite naturally. Even if you stumble, it's still the flow is much better. And I think you can do that at ease. So did you ever create any videos previously on that product, or this was the first one that you did and it went viral?
No, I did another video on it back in August as well. So that video I think you showed was only from the other month. So very recent, well, more recently, I think.
Right. So you had the same product videos go viral before as well.
Yeah, in August. It was
and this is like one of the, as I said, it's hard to find videos on your profile because you probably do about like 3 to 5 videos a day on an average, which is crazy because you do so many videos. And I think that's kind of the biggest, I think, reason for your success is that you're putting out so many videos, because a lot of time what happens is, including me, I'm guilty of that. I put out like 15 videos a month and then I'm expecting that something will go viral. Whereas, you know, creators like you who are at the top have done like 5 to 10 videos a day. You are able to do that because of the amount of ease and time you're spending on that. If it's someone like me who's spending like, say, 1 hour to just create one video, obviously it's not going to be that productive. You will get tired. But if you're spending only 5 minutes and if those videos go viral with that ease, I think that's kind of your secret recipe in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I only do about 3 to 5 a day, roughly. Obviously over Christmas, a little bit less and stuff, but there's people that are doing so many more, like maybe like 10 to 20. Like I couldn't have that kind of output. So I go live as well, as you know. So I can't do that kind of quantity. But I think, yes, quantity is important, but it's being consistent with the quantity that you're putting out. But it's also got to be quality as well. I know some people just throw out videos and they can go viral, but that happens like every now and again. But, you know, it has to be a little bit quality as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's just the expectation of, going every video viral is not going to happen. Right. Sometimes you might have a sequence of going viral. But I think the biggest beauty about being on TikTok Shop is if you have few viral videos, or I would say even a couple of viral videos a month, that should take care of your expenses and everything. Even though UK is not as big as a market compared to US. If someone is watching this like from US, and they might think your numbers are quite big, but even though my numbers are not that big, but sometimes when I discuss with a couple of people whom I know in the US, they still feel it's not big enough because they've seen even bigger numbers because the size of the US market is so big. I wish our videos and live streams could be shown there. Then people would be able to buy that because I know US people can now enable the option so that they can show their videos in live in UK for the GS products, right?
Yeah, I thought we could do that back, but apparently not just yet. I would love to have the option because I get USA people coming up all the time, although I haven't noticed the basket being there for me to buy from them yet either. So I don't know if there's still maybe a few bumps to iron out on that, but the potential for that is massive, isn't it? So I'd be very excited for that.
I think they might have tried it as like a pilot batch or something. Maybe they rolled back on it. Because you know how TikTok is, they always are trying out different stuff. But I think they're obviously going to do it only for the GS products, which you do mostly anyways. because it's shipped from TikTok's overseas warehouse. So whether people are buying from a UK live stream or a US live stream, it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same product. It's just going to show up a different price. So I think looking forward to that in 2025, hopefully TikTok Shop. And I think now we have got TikTok Shop in Ireland as well, which hopefully, if there was no Brexit, we might be right away on it. But I don't know how it's going to work. Okay, let's jump back onto your second video. This is my favorite one because this is the product I started selling initially. I don't know if you had started selling this product at the same time.
Well, so you can turn it into like a laptop style. So obviously a 10.1-inch tablet, it's got 64 gigabytes of memory that you can extend if you want to, 4 gigabytes of RAM that you can virtually extend up to 8 as well if you want to as well. Access, of course, to the Play Store. You want to get Netflix, Disney Plus, all your social media, etc., things like that. Obviously, if you want to watch a movie, you've got Disney Plus. It actually comes preloaded with YouTube on it as well. You've got a dual camera on the back, and it's really easy and simple to set up. If you want to grab this tablet bundle deal, I will tag it in the yellow basket below, but be quick because this deal isn't on for long.
What do you think kind of made this video go viral?
It's a great product that, again, I know a lot about because I've used it so much. So again, I know the product inside out and I'm passionate about it because I think it's such a good price. And I think it really is a good price. Therefore, if you can get the presentation right and it hits the right algorithm, it will sell because the product is fantastic and the price is brilliant and it's what people actually want. So I think that's partly what, and they dropped the price obviously at the time of that video. So I think that helps. All of that together is a recipe for a good viral video.
Right. What I've noticed is with the text and everything you put it on initially, which was discussed in one of the, the TikTok Shop's webinar when we had with the Star team, they did mention is the text, the way you lay them out and creating that urgency that it's a limited time deal. I think that kind of works out. I'm not saying those are the only reason why the deal, why your video went viral. I will be sharing how many views she got because I think I forgot to screen share that. She got 1.7 million views on this video alone, guys. I think anything hitting over 1 million is crazy amount of views in the UK marketplace. I remember when I started showing this product on the live stream, they had sold only like 14 or 15. And I was quite skeptical, about this. So I tested it for a few days. And like you said, for this price range, it is such a good tablet. I don't think so I've seen anything in this price range which is so good, value for money. And I think that came across really well on that video, which is, I think, the reason why you sold it. Another thing I know, when you're creating these videos, you got sometimes you got things in the background, but I don't know if you have noticed this, because when you created that video, your background was much more like a normal person would be reviewing the product rather than a content creator. Sometimes, do you think that works in your favor and kind of it reaches out as a more, I know when you put the links, obviously they know you are a creator, right? But sometimes when you not have like something in background like you have got right now, it's quite obvious that you are a TikTok Shop creator. Do you think those videos tend to go a little bit more viral? I'm curious to know if you have noticed that trend at all.
That's a really great question. I think most of my videos are done with that back shot though, because I do it right in front of a window. So the natural light is really good, but then it's blank behind me. So I feel like this, because this is for my live, but I feel it's quite busy. So it may be distracting people what's behind rather than focusing on the one thing that I'm speaking about. So I don't know. I think if there's a lot of stuff in the background, usually it could be distracting. So most of my videos where I do the tablet bundle deal, the toilet roll bundle deal, too big to do it there because you get so much. So I have to do it in the kitchen. Now that's the only difference. But I just do it in my home, which I guess adds a bit of a personal touch that I'm not in some professional studio or something like that, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? So I've not been in a professional studio to compare the two. So I don't know.
I think what I was trying to say is not only just like professional video, but sometimes because people have seen a lot of videos, they see the background, like say, for example, like what you have now, your live background. And sometimes it might initially just straight away put off some people, even though the video might be nice, the product might be nice. But whereas when you're just recording like you did for your tissue bundle roll or even like for your tablet, you're just literally standing as if someone was in their room, and they just bought it as a gift or something, or just for their own use. And now they're, kind of sharing their experience. So I think it could be something I don't need to give you tips, but for someone who's trying out for the first time, If you think you need like a fancy background, you need a fancy light or anything, it's not. You can literally just start in your bedroom. In fact, if you remember, I do this from my shed. This is my shed at the back of the house. I think Charlotte was live streaming for a few months from your garage.
Yeah, you don't need any fancy stuff. No, definitely not.
Which is, I think, the best thing I think about TikTok Shop is you could be just doing it from your desk. So many people are just literally pointing their cameras. And for anyone who doesn't know, let's just break this as well. So Charlotte probably doesn't even live stream or has never even used a camera for live stream. You are one of the biggest kind of creators. I would call you like the TikTok Shop queen in UK. And you actually, if I'm not wrong, you use your front-facing camera on your phone for live streams and for taking videos.
Yeah, because
Am I right?
if I can't see myself when I'm recording, it's a no for me. I have to see what I'm doing straight away. Yeah, I know I could get a camera with a viewfinder and stuff like that. But that TikTok studio, I looked into it. I thought, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not even going to try. So yeah, always the camera with just the front camera, yeah.
Front-facing camera. So can you believe it, guys? Charlotte is using a front-facing camera, which a lot of people wouldn't like. They still want to at least use like their back camera to get that extra, picture quality and everything. And she was able to hit 1 million in sales in November alone. So tech, that's definitely not an excuse to get started on TikTok Shop. I can tell you that. In fact, I've got 3 cameras here and I haven't even done in 11 months GMV what she hit in 1 month. So that's your kind of tip of the day. Don't worry about what phone you got, what kind of gear you got. You don't even need a microphone. I've never seen you using a wireless microphone either. Maybe you've tested once or twice, I think. But most of the time, you're just using the phone's internal microphone.
Yeah, I did have a microphone for a bit, but, it runs out of battery
You
and
got-
that sort of thing. I can't...
I think the more tech you have, sometimes you have more failures and everything. And make it much more easier. Just use your front-facing camera, go live, make your videos, and something will hit that, that bullseye. And that would give you enough like confidence to get started with TikTok Shop. So I know we're taking a little bit more time than usually I would have thought, but I just want to show one more video because it is such a basic product. I personally never thought this will go this viral. So I'm just going to quickly show you the one, which is the drawing board.
Also use it to practice spellings, maybe times tables or anything like that, or just as a gorgeous message board. What's even better is they've dropped the price on TikTok Shop. So click the yellow basket in the video to get yours. Gift ideas on a budget. How amazing is this? Be a perfect gift for kids. It comes with 7 vibrant pens. You also get the stand and you're going to get some cleaning cloth so you can start again. But how adorable is this? Plug it in, it's USB and it will light up, just giving it that gorgeous neon effect. And when you finish, you've got it on this gorgeous stand to display as well. And when you're done, you can just wipe it off with these cloths provided and start all over again. Not only could you use
That video, for someone who doesn't know, I will leave a screenshot when I'm editing this video. That video, Charlotte, reached 9.5 million views.
Unbelievable.
9.5 million views. Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, I don't think so. I've seen like any other TikTok Shop video which has gone this viral. I know you had like so many others, which is when I leave the snapshot, you will see your shower, the stick-on speakers were exactly 9.6 million views. But you got so many, as I said, so I had to pick only a few of them. Let me ask you, was this again an impromptu kind of video, or did you actually did a voiceover on this one? I'm keen to know on this one.
I think I deserve a medal actually because I was talking while drawing because I'm not very good at voiceovers. I like to talk and do whatever I'm doing at the same time, or at least I just don't like voiceovers because you have a certain amount of time to say what you want to say and it might not match up with what you're doing and stuff like that. It makes it a lot more difficult. So yeah, I was drawing and talking at the same time. So
it is insane. Seriously, I know usually you might be, I didn't know whether you script or not, but usually I know you record it because I can see when you do the jump cuts, when you have edited some videos, when I watch your videos. But this one, I definitely thought you did a voiceover because everything is coming out in a flow, very subtle voice and everything. But it doesn't feel that you could have done that while drawing because your mind doesn't work straight away in both, when you're speaking and when you're drawing it. So it's quite strange to know. And I think this is what I've seen a pattern, which I keep saying again and again, is from all the big creators like yourself, I think, is that ease of the words coming out and demonstrating that products is what is making those videos, viral. It's not like too planned, not edited like an unboxing videos you would see like on another platform. It's just basically someone genuinely trying out some products, and that comes out very organic to other customers. So this one, I think from all the 3 videos that we saw right now, you're able to share anything about it with the numbers. Now, it's up to you for privacy reasons. Whatever you want to share, what the GMV was, how much commission you made, if you want to give a little bit of info to, if you can find, because the reason is just to find out how much money you made, but I think it's just to inspire some other people that you can really make some good chunk of money on TikTok Shop, which people sometimes don't believe.
I'm more than happy to tell you what it is. Right. The thing is, someone, I don't know anything about tech. Right, okay. The viral message board. Right, we're ready. Okay. So the viral message board, I sold GMV-wise 141,000, considering the product was a $5.
Exactly, £5 to £7.
Yeah, 5 to 7,
you sold 1.5 150. You said 150.
What GMV is 141,000.
Yep. That's almost 150K.
Yeah.
And this is a very big lesson that sometimes I was guilty of that. I thought, to make more money on TikTok Shop, I have to sell high spec. And I was almost like a tech product person. As you know, I always did like phones and everything. But trust me, guys, it's not the expensive products. It's those impulsive buy products, £5, £10 worth of products. That's the one which you can reach out to more people and you can make more money. What else can we ask you about that video? Can you share your commission or something else with that? Or do you want to leave it at that?
It's a really satisfying number. I made £10,000 exactly. Well, £10,009 to be exact, just from that one video. And 17,000 units sold.
Crazy. That is 17,000. Wow.
Crazy,
absolutely amazing. It's crazy. And I think if to put that in a perspective, for example, because we are based in UK, an average UK salary is about 28,000 is when I checked last. It's 28,000 is the average UK salary, where you were able to make 10,000 just from one videos. Now, again, if you're not saying that every video you're going to make like 10,000 or 20,000 pounds, but even like normal videos, you will have these chunks making, like my videos, some of them make me like £100, £200, £300 at a time. Even if they're not viral ones, suddenly it will make like one sale. And, when I go back onto like my history, you will see, oh, I made like £1 today from this video, which I made in March of 2024. So it is so crazy that you can make so much money. That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I usually, as I said, I don't like to ask about like the entire GMV or how much money you make. But this should give you an idea of how much Charlotte is making. And she's probably going to retire in Dubai very soon. Because I know you went to Atlantis once.
Might need a few more viral videos before we do anything like that. But that is very, very lucky. I would say that it's not like every video is going to be £10,000. It's just not quite like that, unfortunately. But it's very, very nice. But yeah, it's a very cheap product, and you'll get people going, oh, your 20 pence commission, and you say, oh, well, I wish you knew. But now if they watch this, they will know, won't they? And maybe they'll think twice before they make a comment.
And I and I remember watching like some of the creators' videos, because we all watch each other's video, right? And I don't think so it was on your video, but I was watching someone's video. It was like a very like a 10, 20 pound item, and it's exactly the comment I saw. Someone said, look, a person being sold out for that extra 10p to make a 10p or something. And I'm like, guys, you don't have any idea how much money someone can make from a 10p commission, because in all these multiplies when you have a viral video which goes into like millions of views, right? So it's phenomenal. Thank you so much once again for sharing the actual numbers of that video. Now, you've already shared with us like, how you make videos, like you don't plan out, you don't script. But do you use like any special software, like an app to edit, or are you just editing on your phone app and straight away uploading? Or are you using something like CapCut?
Try and do it as much as possible in the TikTok app, because I was told somewhere on the grapevine that they love that. So I do try and do that as much as possible. But if I need to do something a little bit additional, I do use CapCut. So it's either CapCut, because it's integrated with TikTok anyway, you can share it straight to TikTok, can't you? Or directly in TikTok. It's only those two things that I use. That's it.
Right. And I think I heard that initially when I was doing the non-TikTok shop content. A lot of people said that just add it directly, into the app, because I think that way it knows it's a original thing, because I think the algorithm checks a lot of stuff, like the audio, if it's not copyrighted. But when it comes to like the original footage, like for example, if you upload like a football video, it could be something that you've taken from another channel. But say if you were watching live and you were recording it, the app knows it's been recorded right in the, the phone's camera. So I think it kind of pushes out more. And I think there's like less checks involved. So it has more chances of going viral. We don't know whether that's true or not, because, we hear so many things, shadow bans and not so many things about the TikTok shop. But I think genuinely it probably does help. If you are someone like a natural talker, it might make much more sense just to edit it within the app itself. You're using the music from the TikTok's app anyways. Let's just come back to something which is a very big question I used to get asked a lot by why I don't do videos. You are completely the opposite. I know you do a lot of videos, but what's your split like, whether when it comes to like time spent and when it comes to your earning as well, whether it's the GMV or the commission, what's your split between your live and shoppable videos?
I actually checked this the other day because I do live a lot, as you know, and I was trying to work out whether
every day
whether it was work for 2025. I'm talking about my own goals and all this. I've got a plan and all this sort of stuff. But the live, I know they're really pushing people to do lives, and they want people that, so they say they want people to do lives. But if you can get some good videos out there, it's not even 50-50. I would say 80% is coming from my videos, and then maybe 20% the live. The live really is a way for me to connect and create a community and talk about products with people, so it's not so lonely and stuff like that. And we can get some exclusive deals and flash deals and stuff like that, which is really nice for the people that do come into the live. But for the actual sales, if we're getting down to where's the money maker, for me, it's videos. Definitely.
Right. But do you also think there is a reason why TikTok Shop is kind of pushing more lives? Because if you know, like you have been like a star creator for a very long time. I have just been in there, which I might get pushed out very soon. But, most of the star creators or like the big creators like you on the platform, I've seen they don't do much lives. Maybe they might do, like, for example, Luke sometimes does it when he's launching his own new products and everything. But I would say like 80 to 90% of them don't even live stream at all. Or even if they live stream, they do only like for maybe like once in a while, when they just like feel like they want to do, or maybe it's some like a festive season, or maybe they got like an extra vouchers, because we all know the only way we can sustain those lives is with those flash deals and everything, which you don't get with the shoppable videos. So apart from like building the community, do you think for you is the reason why you do live stream and why you think TikTok Shop is pushing more on live?
I honestly have no idea. I wish I knew the reason, because there's the reason why the bigger creators don't really do that many lives, because there's not that much money in it. Maybe they think it's just going to take off and it's going to go crazy and everyone that's doing live is going to start making loads of money. But it isn't. For me personally, it's not a big money maker. And if a big other creator's making loads of money from videos, why are they going to start doing live streams? Because it doesn't make the money and it takes a lot of time. It's not, the time that I'm live, I could do like 50 videos or something, like maybe not that many, but I could do so many videos in a time. Yeah.
So at your speed, you can definitely, I'm sure, do more videos in that 4-hour live stream.
Yeah, good.
But I think if you remember, I mainly started with live streams, and that's why I've never done much videos, is because I had a different take. So I personally, as you know, like digging everything, like how things are working. I'm always in that detective kind of mode. And where I see this going through, just like Gary Vee says, I don't know if you know Gary Vee, but he is always been saying about this, like, that live shopping. It's not just something like a new concept, because people who are staying in West, especially US, they've seen this QVC and everything. If you look at the creators in China, because of the size of the country, like US, you got more population. I think from live stream, they can make probably 10x or 20x or 30x more money than what we make as live streamers in UK. So I think that's one reason why live streaming is going really big. And I think in West, it is expected. And I think that's kind of one of the biggest differential factor for TikTok as well, because I don't know if you are aware, there is shoppable videos now on Amazon.
Oh,
did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. So they have actually tried shoppable videos and also live streaming in loads of countries. So they haven't started shoppable videos in live streaming in UK, but they have both the options in US. In India, they started live streaming, I think just a couple of years ago. They basically paid high amount of monies to all the professional like unboxing people on YouTube who were doing like tech videos and stuff, and got them to do live streaming. But I think it didn't go that well, because I think the success of TikTok with live streaming and a shoppable video as well is because it's so well integrated within the app itself. Like people are scrolling and they see it in between. So it's not like special thing you have to tap on a link on an app or something. It's just naturally coming in your feed. That's why I think that's kind of their biggest success. And because they're so ahead in the live stream shopping, which they're expecting would be the way people shop, in future, is I think why they want to kind of push live streaming, because I think shoppable videos, it's quite easy for the other marketplaces or other apps to kind of adapt. But with live streaming, it's going to be hard for them to catch up. So I think that's the reason. And I think you did visit, which I missed out, unfortunately, on that event. I think it was all about live, right? When you went on that.
Yeah, it was. It was about going live, the benefits of going live. I can understand maybe if it's big in USA, if it's big in China, they think that it could be big here, but it's just not translating here in that kind of way yet. I mean, it might do, but again, it might not as well. If it is going to, fingers crossed it's going to do it soon, because I would love that. But at the moment, it really does not. But I think TikTok's doing things a little bit differently, because they have those big 12-hour showcases with influencers that go to the TikTok HQ, and they do hit the big numbers, but there's a lot of extra things that have to go on behind the scenes. But just for the run-of-the-mill people who just show up and go live, we're definitely not seeing these big increases in sales and numbers yet.
I think the way I look at it, I think Made by Mitchell did like 1.2 million on a 12-hour live stream. That was the revenue. And was it P. Louise who did 2 million?
That's it. So the big brands, or maybe the big influencers, yeah, definitely they probably can do a quick, well, not in that quick 12 hours, but they could do big money in just one day. Yes.
I think you are right in a way. I think when you compare how much money you can make from shoppable videos compared to live, obviously it's always going to be shoppable videos, especially for someone like you who does a lot of videos. So for example, if I look at my history, which I might sometimes share on this channel, like my 80% of the revenue and commission is from live stream, because literally I've done live stream from the start, and I cannot say that I wouldn't be able to make much money on the videos. If I make more videos, I'm sure it would go into the same kind of scenario what you are having, like you're making much of your bulk. But I personally still think if you are someone who starts live streaming, as long as you are qualified or your account is qualified to do that, you will probably easily be able to guaranteed replace a regular household UK income in probably the first 6 months. I did that within 2 months. I did that within first 2 January, where I started the Pretom tablet. I did try to sell some of those astronaut projector, but it was a little bit late till then, as you know, because I think Charlotte probably sold millions of those in December, November and December. But it was too late. But I think Pretom tablet is which went viral for me. Not viral as in like video, but this was the one. And I think January, which was my first month of doing live, I made 3,100.
It's a hard month to start in January as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really 3,100, so 3,000 pounds.
Brilliant.
That's why I tell a lot of people that, obviously start with a mix of both, obviously, but don't discount live stream. And there was, as I did more of live stream, my another reason was that shoppable videos, I think like 90% of people will be able to do shoppable videos, because it's just about talking about the products. But I think only 5 or 10% will have a courage to be in front of the camera, or even just without being on the front of camera. You've seen so many people are now doing live stream with one of those projectors that I see behind you in the background. Mm-hmm. People are not even showing their face, right? They're literally just, putting the camera on the projector and on the wall, and they're just doing live stream that. So you don't even have to show your face, and you can make a lot of money on
the
that. I can tell
thing,
you,
yeah, you could easily do faceless with the projectors at the moment, 100%.
And there's loads of other products, similar ones as well, which are easy to do. Like even the tablets, I've seen so many people, they've just literally got tablets in front of their hands, and they're just talking about showing them, In fact, actually, I think it makes it even more sense, because you can literally show the stylus. And I think you have done that in the, I think in the time or the week running up to Christmas, in the evenings, you were literally pointing the phone's camera on that desk where you usually record, and you were just showing your. I think you were playing Roblox.
Yeah, just showing people what you can do on the tablet. Just in the evenings, a few times I did, yeah, and I was just behind the camera, and it went well.
And I can tell you, and you were making a lot of sales. I can see that because I could see the number of units available every time on the flash sale counter was going down and you were resetting it. So I'm sure you have definitely made a lot of sales. So the reason why I'm asking and, discussing this is because a lot of times people think for live stream, they have to start basically in front of the camera. In fact, when I did those Ring doorbells, I was literally doing the same way. I was just putting it in front of the camera with two of my hands. And, I'm just showing what the Ring doorbell is. They don't need to see my face. They just need to see the product. So it's quite easy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good
you
to
don't have
know.
to do the face. I mean, if you could have there's some that just spin on a carousel and there's like music in the background. I don't really agree with that. That's just my personal opinion.
That is definitely, yeah.
But speaking with the product, great. Why not?
I think it's good that even though you are making probably enough money, and if you didn't do live stream, you will probably make even more money by using that time as well. But building that community when people have seen you, so next time when they see a video pop up on their profile, they're more likely to see the video in full because they've seen you on live stream. They have probably bought something from you on the live stream. That trust factor kind of increases as well. And I personally think everyone should definitely do a little bit of live stream. This was my take why I was doing live stream. Obviously, it was almost like a guaranteed money because you don't have to, first of all, wait for your video to go viral. So I know it can never make as much money as a viral video, but you have that minimum threshold that you can definitely make. You've done so many live stream. You will make that 50, 100, 200 pound easily once you've done that 2-3 hours of live stream. And plus, in future, if another big brand comes in and they need a face, if they've seen you doing similar kind of products, you might be the one who would get the first chance. I think that's kind of the biggest reason why that everyone should definitely do. Tia, or was that 2023 beginning or end of 2022? I saw, because there is a whole playlist on your profile where you were invited to China to do a talk on a stage. Can you let us know a little bit about that? What exactly it was?
Yeah, that was January 2024. I have to remember all the Januaries. Lots happened. It was almost exactly a year from me leaving my job, and then a whole year later I was in China. Like that to me was crazy. So I did the speech a day before it was the last day of my job. Like it was almost a whole year.
Wow.
And that's what I achieved. So yeah, I went to China. It was so scary. I've never done solo traveling abroad ever on my own, especially not to somewhere like China where it's miles away. And yeah, it was crazy, but it was actually amazing as well to go and talk about my journey on TikTok Shop and, figures and different videos and things like that. So it was really a great experience to travel there and speak about TikTok on a big stage.
So if I'm not wrong, that was not like a event by TikTok. It was from the, I think the app or the service is known as Moss something, I believe.
Yeah, so they're a TikTok partner for analytics data, so FastMoss.
FastMoss, yeah, it's very similar to CaloData, but I think the FastMoss is a bit more reliable one compared to the CaloData, which we know. We're not going to talk about that here. I think UK creators actually don't use these kind of apps a lot, but when you go to the US marketplace, creators kind of use these apps, even CaloData, like daily to see what items are going viral, what kind of GMVs, creators are creating. Now, I don't know how reliable they are. Sometimes they show you a little bit of good idea of what the popular products would be for that particular creator or for that shop. But the numbers are a little bit skewed up. They're not real what you would be making, because I think you made a video about that very recently, not being very happy. It's not showing the correct numbers for what you're making.
Yeah.
In the GMV, I believe.
A bit out there, really, but never mind. The less said about that, the better. But on Product Marketplace, within the TikTok app, you can look at what the best sellers are and it will tell you like the top 100 or this is top 10 or something like that. So you can work out what's doing well really within the TikTok app without needing to go to any third-party sites, which aren't very accurate.
Absolutely. And I think now TikTok Shop has, I don't know if you have noticed because I haven't got live, but I was your live or Phil's live yesterday. And I saw now it also shows you how many units have sold for that particular product that's been pinned in on that particular month.
Oh, really?
So it's now, when we pin something, if you tap on that, it actually shows you how many units have sold in that particular month. and whether it's the top 20 search product in that particular category. So if you pin the tablet bundle deal, which we all do throughout the day, or the projector, it will tell you how many have sold. Some of them are saying how many have sold in a month, or it shows you whether it's the top 20 product in, like, say, tech category. Or the reason why I brought that up is so phenomenal. Just 18 months ago, you were in a completely different industry. 1 year or 12 months before you took that leap of faith, you left everything, you started going in full time on this one. With just 6 months of data, or leaving a job that you have worked for 10 years and then suddenly starting something, and within a year to be invited into another country, obviously a big platform, paid trip, and to kind of share your journey is such phenomenal. I'm sure you were nervous at that time, but it would be like a sense of a feeling where you would have felt that you took that right decision 12 months ago.
Yeah, I still can't believe it now. I don't know if I'll ever get my head around how much I have achieved. So I always did feel like I need to do better. Like, it's just built into me that I always need to be doing something more. But with you just saying it there, I think, you know what, I've done all right, actually.
I'm sure you have done more than all right. I'm sure if someone can reach at your position in a couple of years or even 5 years, I wouldn't say they would be complaining at all. And I think, I know this thing, you might not want to share this, but if you can share this as well. I think at some point, Nate decided to kind of help you with this. So now, as a family, or with your partner, you're doing, let's say, I know he started a channel, which I don't think so he uploads as regularly, but how was that transition? Was there a reason why he probably left his, because I think this is going to be a situation which a lot of creators will come into, in fruition in their life as well, whether it's a female or a male. When they start doing, TikTok shop journey, they reach at a point where they think even their partner or spouse can kind of now join in as well, whether as a second channel or whether just to help out as a, I'd still call this as a business. I know we are called like creators, but I think it's still like a content creation business. So how did all that happen? I know I was not supposed to ask you that, but
okay,
if you want to kind
that's fine.
put a little bit.
I'm actually so proud to be able to say that I was able to just tell Nay, if you want to leave your job and just come and help me, just do it, because we were in that position financially where I was making enough money that he could walk away from it if he wanted to. But again, he was in a job that he'd worked in for 15 years. So,
even longer.
It was up to him, but he was there straight away to say, yeah, let's do it. And the worst thing that could happen is he goes and gets his job back, or he works in a different shop or different industry or whatever he wants to do, because he's gaining skills here anyway. Content creation, you're gaining a lot of skills in a different way, so you might be able to use that in the future. But it was very satisfying to say, do you want to come and work not with me, but do you want to do your own thing? Do you want to help me, or what do you want to do? And for both of us to be able to be at home, the freedom that we now have is priceless to me. It means we can go on holiday whenever we want to. We can take a break whenever we want to. And we can be there for our family and my daughter whenever we need to as well. So we're so lucky and privileged to be able to do that. So yes, but he doesn't really do his own content anymore. He kind of took a step back because the live streams are changing so much with TikTok. I really do need his help. That's why it's hats off to you, hats off to Phil and everybody else who does just do it on their own. Whereas I do need somebody pinning, helping with the flash deals, looking at comments, because it's so much. I do find it a lot. So you doing it on your own, it's crazy to me, and well done to you.
Oh, thank you so much. But I think that's what you said. I think a lot of people who are probably listening to this podcast, they might be wanting for years. And when the new year starts, you got your resolution, whether it's your health, whether it's your earnings and everything. This could be for someone, who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, or you are still in that early stage. You don't have your kids, and having a kid, or basically planning for a kid as well. You got these things in mind. What will you do once you have kids? Because you might have to leave your work, or you are a single parent. How are you going to cope up with this? I think for all those people, or even for someone who just looking for that extra couple of pounds, just to have a better holiday, just to have some better resources, for someone who wants to send their kids to private education, everyone has a different priority, what they feel they are not able to do. And I personally think not just TikTok shop, they can probably do anything else as well on side. And have that extra cushion of money coming in. Eventually, most of the time it happens like you start a side hustle and that eventually that becomes like your main hustle. And then you leave your other biz that you're doing. And sometimes, like for you, I think it was more harder, I would say, because you were in a high profile job. Not that you cannot get another high profile job. But for example, when I started doing the Amazon thing, I was interviewed on one of the podcasts as well. And they said, he asked me on like instantly, like, did you not fear what would happen if it didn't work out? And I'm like, I used to work in PC world. If things didn't work out, how how hard is it going to be for me to go back to PC world or find another job which is like a PC world? So I think kudos to you. You took that step, but it is such a great thing to achieve that now you have more time with your family, like you said. That freedom is priceless. A lot of times there are a lot of gurus sometimes preaching you forget about 9 to 5. First of all, don't disrespect 9 to 5 because you need your doctors, you need your firemen and everything. So there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, but some of us have that extra zest and priorities that you might want to be working from home. That might be your kind of way of thinking, like, you're winning in a way. So don't just kind of disregard 9 to 5. And most of the people, I know TikTok shop sounds easy, but most people would not have this success straight away. And they might be actually putting more time than what they actually spend up to 9 to 5. But it brings you that freedom that, if you think these are your priorities, what like Charlotte said, and what I discussed as well, then TikTok shop will give you that freedom. I can 100% tell you. It might take 6 to 12 months to change your life, but you can definitely do that. I did that in 1 month.
Yeah, it's life-changing stuff, isn't it? It really is.
It is. So my next question is, what are your thoughts on, doing more of the GS products compared to the local products for someone who doesn't know what GS products is? So when you are promoting products on TikTok shop, some are local brands. So something like you would buy from a UK supplier or a UK seller, whereas most of the money I've probably thinking you have made is from the GS products, which in turn is called globally sourced. So it's what TikTok shop is, shipping it from overseas. What are your thoughts? Which one should people start with first? What you have had more success with?
I think it really depends on the person and what kind of niche they might be going into, because you might find there's a lot more options on either the local or the GS side. I do a mix, and that is just because I review a lot of different products and therefore some are local and some aren't. But yes, I have had more success with the global selling the GS products just because of the price point, I think, in comparison to maybe some of the local products. They are, sometimes that little bit more competitive in the price. And my page has always been about bargains and low price stuff. So I think that's why perhaps I've had more success with the GS side of products, but both are equally great. And I love the local products as well. But with GS as well, you might find if you do get a viral video, they don't go out of stock as quickly. If you're going to sell something out, let it be the GS stuff, because they usually have the larger stock quantities than the local sellers.
And I think especially like if you're doing like beauty products and everything, maybe if you are inclined towards that, then maybe having a, concentrating more on the local brands might make much more sense, like P. Louis and everything. Yeah. Whereas when you are selling these accessories and small, like impulsive buy, type of items, like a phone stand or something, I think you might have more success with the GS products as well. And I actually started with GS products and then I moved on to locals because phones and everything, it was hard to sell GS kind of products. But I think for you, like whether it's GMV wise or whether commission wise as well, I think you might have made more money, but more from the GS products.
Yeah, I think a mix, if you can, a mix is really a good idea.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very controversial kind of question because I think you have voiced your opinion on that very recently. Your thoughts on sudden rise of TikTok shop gurus and courses on TikTok shop. What do you want to tell about that?
I don't really like them. Well, there's some of them I don't like, only because they're lying about things that just annoys me. But if you're doing really, really well, there is no need to try and scalp people out of 60 or 70 quid or 100 quid or whatever the price of these courses are to make more money. If you're doing really, really well on TikTok, like they all claim that they are, they really just don't need to be making any more money. Like, let's think, I could do a course after this podcast, couldn't I? With everything I've done and achieved, and I could say, yeah, I'm going to make a course and I'm going to charge you 600 quid. Why? I don't need to do that. I don't need to make another 600 quid. I'm already doing all right. I don't need to do that. And these people half of them and never heard of them. Let's put it that way. That's no disrespect. You will have, as a creator, you will have heard of who the top people are. It's just as simple as that.
Exactly.
And if any of them genuinely are making, what are they claiming, like 30,000 a month or whatever, consistently, if they genuinely are, great. But if you are, why do you need to charge people 600 quid or 400 quid, whatever it is, to buy one of your courses? Haven't you got enough money? Couldn't you share a few tips for free? If you're so great, you'll stay at the top. You don't need to worry about anybody else.
I wanted to ask you this because I know you were, voicing your opinion about this very recently. I think a couple of weeks ago, you put up some videos about it as well. The way I look at it is, in some ways, yes, I 100% agree with you, but there's other side of it as well. So, for example, someone like you, I wouldn't put myself in there because I think I'm still not that big creator, but it's like, say, someone like you, Luke, and everyone who are on that top tier of, kind of making money on TikTok Shop. You wouldn't have enough time basically to do something like that. Now, you could do that as a hobby, but you wouldn't probably want to spend. And I think that's what happens in the other industries as well. That's when some people, some might have real screenshots as well. I'm not, putting down everyone, but most of the times you and me would straight away recognize that this is someone who's probably just had one viral video somehow, or probably is not even a genuine screenshot what they're showing. And now, they are basically selling £100 worth of courses because they know someone big enough like you wouldn't spend time to kind of create courses. So where, say, a newbie going to learn from?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I think it's kind of that situation, which is where, most of these course sellers kind of penetrate a little bit more into the industry because they know big creators won't have enough time. I personally, when you voiced that opinion in that video, I thought maybe, I personally think the courses or something like that should be free. Just like you said, if it's a creator who's launching something like that, I think it should be a free or a 5 or a 10, just like a cup of a coffee worth of money. But I think creators like you should actually come in and maybe not a course, maybe the course is free, but maybe a mastermind group or something where you are maybe doing a weekly webinar and stuff like that, 2 or 3 people going in together and doing something like that so that even the newbies can access the real way of doing this from successful people who have constant success. Because what I've seen, most of the ones like you're saying who are showing the screenshots, I'm not saying they're completely wrong. They might have made that 20,000, 30,000 pounds, but it's just one video. And the reason why I can say that about most of them is because if you see that they are still showing you the screenshot, which is from October or July or something. If someone was constantly making sales and money like you, then they would be updating the newer screenshots, whether it's up or down. But they will use the one screenshot from the entire month.
If you look at the screenshot that some of them are sharing, look at the blue number underneath it as well. There's one of them that says it's 1,000% up on the previous month. That is a very large amount, which shows the month before they did absolutely rubbish. And the screenshot is from November. November is Black Friday month. It's the month where everybody shops. Everyone who's a TikTok shop creator in November should have done better, fingers crossed, what they did the previous month. And,
Yeah, I mean, you hit 1 million, so
yeah, exactly.
you seriously.
I'm not doing it now, but if I'm going to show a screenshot, I'll show it from November. I'll say, hey, look at this. And I'll try and sell you a course for 600 quid. Absolutely ridiculous. But I get what you're saying, time. Not everyone's got time. But I will try and make time and maybe do some lives where I can talk to people. And if they've got any questions about how to do this, that, and the other, I will try and do a little bit more. I did a few videos to try and help people. I'll do a little bit more of that as well.
Yeah, I did see that. I think there was few videos after that when you voiced the opinion about the course sellers and everything. I think after that, you did put up some videos. If there was a platform where it's like a mastermind group where people pay only say a $5, what they would probably pay more now in a cup of a coffee in Starbucks. We were a team of creators. We did regular webinars. Not every creator has to, has to spend hours and hours a day. But maybe once in a week, you hop onto a half an hour call like we're doing right now, which obviously, you're not getting paid. This is just out of generosity. You are on my podcast right now. Do you think you would ever be wanting to be a part of something like that ever?
I think it's a really great idea. And I just want to be 100% clear. I'm absolutely fine with anybody charging for their time and their knowledge if they have written it. A lot of these course sellers are just finding courses that are free for them to put their own name on and passing it off as their own. They're the people that I've got a problem with, the ones that haven't written it themselves, that haven't put any of their own knowledge They've just basically got a course online that they're allowed to put their name on and then giving it to people and claiming that they have written it. They're the people I have an issue with. Like you, for example, you've got a lot of knowledge on lives and your knowledge is very valuable. So if you were going to write a course, then of course, then you should charge something for that knowledge because you have written it. So I don't have an issue with that. Or if you were to jump on a call with somebody and mentor people, then yes, you might want to charge for your time in that respect. But I don't have any issue with people doing that whatsoever. And I'd be more than happy with no charge to jump on a call with people. I actually really love helping people because that's what my previous job towards the end of my law career, it was just helping other people do the job. I was actually really behind the scenes. So helping people is what I'm actually quite passionate about. So for me, helping people, if it helps, I would happily type anything down, speak to somebody, mentor people. But like I say, it's just the time. But in the quieter months, like January, February, March, absolutely. I think we might have some time to do it.
Good, that's good to know. Because I'm thinking of putting up something like that. It's not especially, once again, for money as well. But I think, one, you are actually doing a good thing. If you are someone who's done well, then you're protecting, someone from buying courses for someone who has actually not done that. I'm not saying they might be bad. And I think you're right. I thought that you were actually voicing opinion mainly about the TikTok shop course, but now I know what you were talking about. It's mainly about these digital products, and it's that pyramid kind of scheme, right?
I looked it up. I went to find where these digital marketing courses, they are trying to link them to TikTok shops. Some people by saying, for I think $2.99, it's a list of hooks. Literally, you can find those hooks on Google. It's ridiculous.
Or ChatGPT nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. So it was that I have a massive issue with, because I know that these people will not have typed them themselves, because I actually went to try and find this so-called course. And yes, you get the master right, and you can obviously just put your name and stuff to it. It's crazy.
Right. We will talk about this later on, but that thought just came in my mind, when I saw that post. Maybe we could have something like a free course, and then it's like a mastermind group where people are paying like only a $5 or a $10 just to be like in that group to discuss and share their journeys, just like what we're doing on podcast. But I don't want to make the podcast just about that, so we will leave it to that. But good to know you are on board about that, so we will keep that in mind. One thing a lot of people are scared about, and I'm sure a lot of people whom you have told about TikTok shop don't want to do it as well, because they're afraid of trolls, and especially, how much we get on live streams. I used to get asked for, if I've got any curries left in my pot and stuff like that. But it does happen. So how do you deal with trolls? This is for someone who's, listening and wanting to get on. But first of all, they're afraid to show their face, and they're afraid of all the negative comments on their videos. How do you deal with that? Did you ever feel, you want to quit just because of that? Because I think mental health is very important when you're on, and on any social media platforms.
Sometimes I deal with it really well. Sometimes I don't deal with it really well. Just depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I'll just ignore them, because that's 9 times out of 10. If you ignore them, that's it. Nothing more will happen. But if sometimes I'm just like, I've had enough of this person, I'm going to go in on them. But they love that. So it's try and not do it. But for anyone starting out, if you have any words that you think are going to be particularly triggering to you, TikTok have got those filter comments. Just go and put them in there. Those triggering words, just type them in there. And don't look at your reviewed filtered comments on your videos, because that's where they'll all be, and it will just upset you potentially. So I don't look at any of my reviewed filtered comments. I don't look at any of them. On the lives, as you know, Charz, they'll come through and they'll come up with something. But what you'll notice is the insults or the trolling comments are always very similar. So it's not a targeted attack at you as a person. It's just a generalized statement, because they don't really have too many brain cells, so they can't really think of anything too unique. So they'll just come up with a few classics that you'll get to see it all the time, and you just go, oh, well, it's another one of them. Just block them and move on. Sometimes I'll snap at them and I'll say something, because that's just who I am. I'll say, get a life, or off. It's horrible. Or I'll just block and delete them and keep it zipped. But there's never been a time where any troll has ever made me want to quit, and it will never happen. I don't think it will anyway. I just don't think I'm that big. I think it would be difficult if I had like 1 million followers Luke style, or I think there's someone called Stephanie and someone called Amy who have got a big following, and they get a lot of attacks from trolls about various different things. I think if I was dealing with that every day, and they address it a lot, if you address it, I feel like they love it and they just keep going. If you ignore it, I think it might make life a bit easier. I'm not trying to tell them what to do, of course, but I don't know if I could handle it, dealing with it every day. It would kind of be a bit overwhelming. So, yeah, I just don't try. I try not to think too much about it, but never at any point have I gone, right, someone said something to me about it, so I'm going to give up now. Never. It's just not going to happen. These people are nobodies. They've got no profile picture. They don't comment for real account. Why are they going to get me off live? No chance. These people are nothing. You'll never see anybody hating on you who's more successful than you. You'll never have someone attacking you who is above you in some kind of way. They're always going to be beneath you, trying to drag you down to their level. So you don't need to let them bother you. You're already above them. They're just jealous, or they're just having a bad day, or they're just miserable or something like that. So I just, whatever.
It is good how you kind of handle this, and what you think about it is great to know. But I think that mindset comes like from being resilient for so many months as well. Now you've been doing it for a long time as well. But this is the reason why I asked this, is because I actually spoke to some of my friends and they didn't want to go up onto the camera or TikTok Shop live for the same reason, because they were afraid, what people are going to think about them. I mean, most of the, the comments that I used to get in my early days was all about curries. Like, have you got this curry? Have you got this curry? And my answer was very simple. Let me have a look, and then I'll tell them, I've run out. Come on my live early or try next door. I mean, I would just make fun of it.
Yeah.
So never be afraid about like any kind of trolls, putting you down. And just like Charlotte says as well, it's most of that people they don't have enough life, or they have nothing to do in their spare time. Because imagine what kind of mindset or time would you have in a day to go on someone's live stream and video and type negative stuff? I mean, who does that? Have you ever done that? I've never done that.
No, I would never do it, because I'm a decent human being with plenty going for me and a good life. Maybe if I was miserable, maybe on my own or something like that, with nothing to do, no future, no prospects, then maybe I'd take it out on other people, and I'd be sad, angry, and then you go online and you go, this person's doing great, let's pull them down. It's got to be something like that, but I don't think I'll ever fully understand it. But yeah, you could interact with them, but I don't know whether it's the best idea. Yes, okay, good for the algorithm, but it might encourage more. That's the only thing. But I don't want to encourage more.
What I wanted to ask you next is, we all know, I mean, I'm sure we have seen Luke, obviously, who's another big creator, obviously king of, probably one of the first big creators, which I'm hoping he's going to be there, because he has said he's going to be on the podcast. So I'm plugging that in. But I'm sure he's busy right now, so I'm not troubling him, because obviously he's just got married and he's got so much going on. So I'm going to leave him another few weeks before I get him on there. But I think what I'm trying to get is, I've seen Luke and other big creators like yourself have transitioned from not only just being a TikTok creator, but maybe they might have come out with a course, they might have come out with a physical product or something on site to kind of build up on the audience, or whether you call it like monetizing your audience, or maybe taking that next step, taking it further than just being a TikTok Shop creator. So have you ever thought about something like that? Because I know you had a very small collab with one of the brands very recently, where you had these tote bags and your t-shirts as well. But I think, again, it was just more sort of like a collab where they had some printer stuff. It's not like you went in to try and build a brand or something. So do you plan something like that in future?
I would love to have my own brand of some sort. Like what Luke has done is actually incredible. His cleaning stuff, and to be able to...
cleaning.
Yeah, to be able to create your own brand and release it and it be so successful, that would be an absolute dream for me. However, do I have a clue as to what I would do? Not right now. I mean, I have very few ideas, but I'm somebody who would literally want it to be perfect, especially if my name is going with it. So it's something I'd love to do. Do I know what it would be? Not right now. But yeah, it's something that I could explore in 2025 and beyond. But I think it is a great idea. It's just with Luke, because he's got such a great high following of people, they will kind of buy it because of him. I don't feel that I have that at all, really.
I'm pretty sure you have that. I'm pretty sure you have that. No, I'm seriously saying
it's got to be good. Yeah, he has a lot of loyal people that would literally just get it just because it's him. And I'm not saying the product is bad or anything, but they would get it because to support him. And he had such a large following. So I feel like I need to grow more as a creator and maybe build a bigger following before I try and come out with my own brand. Like Mr. Beast, he's massive. He's got his own chocolate bar. Like, I would love that. Who's going to buy Charz Refused chocolate bar? I mean, nobody, because I'm not that well known.
I agree. I think the reason why I said, and I think you said about Luke as well, that's completely right. You don't know whether that product is good or not, but you have that trust in that phase because you know that this person will not cheat you for just some extra money.
Exactly.
Where he's already making so much money. So that's one thing. But I personally think someone like you have that voice. The reason why I say that is very genuinely because you know that I'm taking a little bit of different path right now. I might not be like live streaming, probably, I don't know for how long, or even if I do, it might be very few days, not like what I used to do before. I might not even do much of TikTok shop as much as you might have seen me in the last year. But a lot of people said you were good, you were decent at live stream. But I personally said, yes, I was good at sales, but I wasn't really as good as creating community. And when you want to grow as a creator, you need to have that. Now, that could be a lot of reasons for that. For some reasons, which I feel I wasn't able to create that big community. Yes, it's already been 1 year, but it's just like your personality as well. For example, when you're on a live stream, because I'm not born here, I usually, and the type of person I am, I can usually just talk very good about the product. So that's why it sells. But when it comes to about talking about something else, yes, sometimes we have few regular people on the live stream. We will just talk about regular things about technology in general or about phones and everything. But apart from that, I find it a little bit hard to create community, which is a bit weird because I'm a good fellow, but I've never been able to create that community, which I would have thought I would based on, how honestly I'm selling the products and everything as well. And not just with TikTok shop, I'm just telling about like in the past as well. So I've always struggled a little bit with that. But I think you are like always, chirping around with your regulars on the live stream whenever I'm there. So I think you have a very good chance. And I think you have now enough trust to at least dip your toe in something like that. And another reason why I'm going to be asking this question to probably everyone, but especially to you, because I, in the last 15, 20 years, I've done a lot of e-commerce and stuff like that. And there's a lot of times I wanted to start, like, say, a brand of something, but I'm not able to do that because I don't have that reach. But just like you said, you have reach, but you might not have that expertise on that particular business model. Like Luke went in with the electronic products from GS kind of products first with Lopwood brand. Now he has like the cleaning brand, which is the Yes Cleaning. So I'm trying to see if I can basically pull in some similar kind of resource for other creators, because you obviously want to spend more time in your creativity, which is making you the dough. So you might not want to spend time in the other bits and, kind of finding products or something that you can launch as your own brand. So maybe I can become that kind of source which brings you those resources and plugs it with your brand. I don't know if it will work, but that's what kind of I'm thinking out loud. I don't know what you feel about that.
Yeah, hook me up, Sarge. Come on, I'm trusting you.
Yeah, it's just because I think we all should do whatever we are best at. But I think if you look at, because I've been monitoring like YouTube creators and everything for a very long time. I mean, literally 70-80% of the content that I consume is always podcast. And I've seen that a lot of creators on the other platform, they collaborate a lot and they get much out of each other, to kind of excel in something what you might not be good at. So I've sold like 15 years on e-commerce. So I know about products, shipping, integration and all those kind of stuff. But if you could plug something like that together, just like the mastermind community or a physical product business, just like Luke is doing, maybe we can bring out something good.
Yeah, definitely.
And it will be less stressful for you as well, because you can, concentrate on what you are good at.
That's it. Yeah. Brilliant. I love the idea. You do all the hard work.
Okay, that's good.
But you do all the hard work and then tell me about it.
That's good. So I think I'm going to be, I think you are probably going to be like the first collaborator in everything I do. So that's good to know that you are up positively on all these things. Now, I know I threw out a lot of ideas, so some of them might work, some of them might not, but at least we can have that discussion, right? That at least you are looking forward for something like that. So let's come back to the first thing I started with, and I do apologize. I know I have spoken a little bit more than what I should be speaking. So we have gone a little bit over time. So I'm going to try and wrap it up in the next few minutes. But I want to come back to the first thing which I mentioned, the article that you shared recently. You were obviously, featured on TikTok's official blog for hitting 1 million in sales. And I think you are either due for the award or you've already gone and collected the award, but you hit 1 million in GMV or revenue in just November alone. Like you said, November is the main month. Do you want to share anything about that? Have you already received the award? What was the feeling like? It's been 2.5 years in, and you are being rewarded by TikTok, one of the biggest social media platforms.
It's just mind-blowing to me that I even did that, because the month went so quickly. I was so busy, and I checked it, how well I was doing towards just before Black Friday. I saw the number. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh, you didn't check it before that?
No.
Wow.
I look how much I'm doing a day, but I don't look at like the grand total or anything, because it was just so busy. I had so much personal stuff going on as well. It's quite, a lot going on as well, which you know about. But to do that in November, I've not received the award yet. I'm waiting for the official invite. It should be towards the end of this month that I should get it, but they're having it made especially for me because nobody's ever done it before. So it's very exciting indeed. Well, I don't think anyone's done it before, else they would have received the award, right? I'm just saying, I'm putting that out there. I think it's 1 million in the 30 days. I'm sure people have done 1 million.
Phenomenal.
Obviously, I've done 1 million, but in a much longer period. But within the 30 days time frame, in the short period of time, I don't think anybody's done it. So yeah, I'm very grateful, and I can't wait to receive the award. I will display it proudly when I receive it.
It's such a big achievement. I mean, seriously, you know what? When I started doing the live streams, that was my aim, to receive some kind of award this year. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way, but hitting 1 million, guys, is not easy. I mean, you've done 1 million in sales. And for anyone who doesn't know how much money you can make out of that for the percentage, we will leave it to you for you to scratch some other videos and everything and find out. But I think I will probably ask about this as we go into a very quick kind of a one-word answer, or true or false, or if you want to give some of answers on the questions that I had shared earlier on. So piggybacking on the same question, but once again, congratulations on hitting that. Seriously, it is, I know, yes, we all need to make money, but when you get a achievement like that, you get recognized for your work, which for me works more with my mental health. I'm more of a achievement kind of person. Like, when you get recognized by other people, that kind of gives me that more kick or push compared to the money. And I know the money would be the byproduct of something like that anyways, if you have achieved something, but it is seriously, I can't believe you hit such a big number in 30 days. Do you know what your GMV was for the entire year, by the way?
For the entire year, I have no idea, because you can't check the data for the whole year unless you can tell me how to do it. We can pause it and we can find out, but it only goes back when I had a look.
6 months.
6 months only, so I have no idea. I should have screenshot every month what I do. I should have done that, then I could have added it up. But to be honest, if the bills are paid, I'm one of these people. If the bills are paid, I don't care if it was 300,000 GMV. I don't really.
Come on, Charlotte, I'm sure you're making enough to pay more than bills.
Yeah, enough.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's leave it to that without revealing too many numbers. But I'm sure you're doing pretty well with that. So now these are going to be very quick couple of questions. You can answer them in true or false, yes, no, with a number or a one-word answer. So are you ready for those last 3 or 4 questions?
Yeah, I'll try and do one-word answers. I'm not really very good at that, so sorry.
My first question to you is, you made 6 figures in commission in November on TikTok Shop this year. Is that true or false? Yes, no.
This year?
You don't have to give the number. Yes, just November, you made more than 6 figures in commission.
Just for November?
I know the answer probably.
No, not just in November. No.
One where you hit the 1 million GMV.
Commission.
Okay, closer to?
Commission is not what it used to be. If I'd have done 1 million last November, 100% it would have been 6 figures commission, definitely. But because, see, I told you I can't do one word answer. Because the commission this year on TikTok going down a lot, it's not quite as good.
Okay.
So unfortunately,
that's actually interesting to hear, because I thought some of the GS commissions would actually be a little bit on higher side this year because of we being through an agency. Actually, I completely forgot about agencies, but I would have definitely thought, but if you haven't hit 6 figures in this year's November, I'm sure you're going to hit that in next year's November. And we're definitely going to have you back again and again till the time you can say that you have hit that six figures commission. But okay, jokes apart, if you can answer, I don't know if you got this data, how much money you made from the most viral video, if you can share that. You don't have to say which video it was, but if you can share, if you have, it might not be the exact amount, but if you can share.
In the last 6 months, I can tell you that the most commission was 20,000.
On just one video, you mean?
Yeah. That's
impressive.
Right.
So you made.
I think that's good. I have no idea if I got. I presume.
Are you kidding me? You made £20,000 from just one video. That's probably just 8,000 less than a average UK salary, and you're still wondering whether that's good or not. Come on, Charlotte.
I'm good. Yeah,
20,000 from
roughly 20,000. You know, give or take.
That is huge. That is huge. So that is really, really good. I'm not going to ask which video is it so that other people don't get much idea of that. I want to ask you, I probably knew a few of the ones which, because we have been doing like similar products very recently. So I know which one it could have been, but we'll leave it to there. Can you think of any weirdest product that you have ever shown on your live stream, or you thought this is like the weirdest product you received from a brand, or something which you have never thought that you would sell or promote? Not as in whether it was good or not, but weirdest one.
So I got one of those push pop-it toys. You know, the little, where it's like it lights up and you press it. I sold thousands of them, absolutely thousands. And I was like, it's just a little game for kids. Thousands. I did a quick video. They dropped the price to something crazy like £1.
£2 or £3 or something. It was like £1 or £2.
This was ages ago now, but the commission on it was back in the good old days when even if the commission was
I wanted to ask you about that.
Was low, you'd still get the proper commission on the original price. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's the one question I was going to come back to. But yeah, go on, keep going.
So I sold thousands of it, and I was like, I can't. Like Nay said, we're going to have a clear out. Do you want to donate some stuff? I was like, yeah, but I really want to keep this because it holds a lot of like memory.
Like a memento.
I've got it around here somewhere. I love it. And I'm like, it could come.
I call it a noise pollution toy. I call it a noise pollution toy.
You can turn the volume up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, it's just my son plays that, he plays that not every day, but whenever he's playing, like after a while, I tell him like, come on, put the volume down or shut the volume off. But that toy was a little bit of controversial in my mind. The reason why I say that is because people sold that, or the brand sold that as a stress buster toy, right? Because, in the last few years, people have had these like squishy toys and everything with those. Yeah. But this one is like, you have to literally follow the light. So how can that be a stress buster? If I was actually playing that, it's going to stress me out more on losing that.
Yeah.
But I think it was such a big thing. And that's one of the questions I think I might have scrolled past without forgetting. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why I continued to do TikTok shop in that first month or two, because you might know how long it lasted. For me, it's when it started, it was there and then it vanished. This was either a glitch or it was like that for the entire year or two that you have started the TikTok shop. And for people who don't know, what it was like is, so for example, if there is a product which has been listed as £10 and then there is like a markdown, $4.99. So you got 50% off. What was happening on the GS item is, yes, you will still the GMV or the revenue would be £5. But if you had like say 10% commission on that, instead of 50p, you will actually get 10% on the entire £10, which was their list price. And what happens is a lot of these overseas sellers, they would mark the tablets as £99 / available at 59, but you will still get that £10 commission and not £6. So I wanted to know from you, because you are one of the OGs, was that just a glitch or was that how it was initially?
If it was a glitch, it was the best glitch of all time, because last November, last Black Friday, I did less GMV. I made more money last year. Even though
and that was because of this.
This 1 million GMV thing. But because of that thing that happened with the GS, because last year it was the tablet was the viral thing and I sold so many of them, the commission went on the full price. And therefore I did very, very well.
So I think when I saw that, the reason why I made that £3,000 in January, because majority of that was that from the same tablet, the pre-tom tablet, because we were getting, I think was it more than £10 or £12 or £7.99 or 8, something like that. It was
It
crazy
was
number.
a very, very good amount. And then
So,
sold a lot.
so that was a temporary thing. It was not something when you were doing it before, right?
They did change it. Yeah, it was all not last year, but the year before, 2023, I think, the whole time. And then they changed it, and now it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. I wish. Because the reason why I, remember this very well, because the first product was that, and the second one that I promoted that did really well in February and March was these, the £20 viral watches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you remember, they used to mark this Midtown and some of the other brands. They used to mark them down from 49 to like £22 for the metal ones.
Yeah.
And the silicon ones were like 19.99. And I was getting £6 commission on that, and I was selling like 60 to 70 a day on lives.
Yeah, it's good times.
So I was like £360, and I thought, like, how can they pay £6 on a £20 watch? Obviously, I thought it is a glitch because I've been in the e-com industry. But as long as it lasted, if someone has done like live stream or videos during those days, it was such a good money maker. Not that you cannot make money now, but that was like a cherry on the top of the icing. So I think, so that was only like for a month, right? Like you said, a couple of months.
Yeah, it didn't happen for very long, and they obviously quickly changed it. They must have made a bit of a loss, I think, especially on the tablet.
I'm sure.
I think whenever it was, in the November, the 2023, I think I was getting like 25 quid a tablet or something silly like that. I mean, it might not have been that much, but it was a lot.
Wow.
On the tablets.
Because I think they were listing it as like, I think that at that time they were listing it as like £100 plus as well, some of the models, I remember.
Yeah, and then the commission was good. Like, it had a good commission. Like, now it's so much harder to get above 10%, isn't it? To do GS. GS, you can get a little bit more commission, but then it is on the actual list price, not the recommended retail price. So it is a lot harder to make those big figures now, unfortunately. A little bit more.
The joy of getting on early on the TikTok shop, I guess. The earlier you are, you get not just the glitch, but you have a lot of different advantages as well. Early in there, not many people doing it. I think that's the joy of being early. But it's still not late, guys. You can make much more than what you would make on a full-time living out there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if you have anything to mention, but any funniest or most memorable comment or something that someone has said on live or something you want to share? Maybe even like a mean comment or something. Whatever you want to share. One of the weirdest ones.
It's not horrible. It's actually really nice. It's one of my old school friends who I'd not spoken to found me on a TikTok live. How crazy is that? And now we've reconnected.
That would be like at least like 20, 25 years, maybe?
Yes. So at
least 15, 20 years,
I go to school with you, and you think, oh, here we go. I clicked it. I was like, that's my old friend from school. How crazy is that? It happened to me again the other day. They said, did you used to go to this nightclub every Saturday? I was like, oh my God, I know them. I used to go clubbing with them back from the good old days. But yeah, from years ago. So that is the weirdest thing that's ever happened.
Shout out to TikTok Lives for bringing us closer to people we would never imagine. And now just that you said that, I just remembered just a month ago, I had someone asking me, are you Sajid from India? And I'm saying, yes. And he goes like, I am this person.
Yeah.
And he was watching from US. So a shoppable live stream, as you know, they cannot buy.
Yeah.
And he was my next door neighbor's youngest son. So he had a brother who was same age. So we used to play together. I used to spend some time at their places. We would eat out at each other places as well times. And he was the younger brother. So I think when we were around, in the school age, he was just like 4 or 5 years old. And he said, I'm this person. And I'm watching you from US, and that was a shoppable live stream. So such a weird thing, right?
That's even so more impressive than my tale, because that is someone in a different country as well. That is unbelievable.
I think TikTok Shop is changing lives. It could be an underrated statement to say. And I'm not sure TikTok is the first one to do that. I mean, all my life I've had similar kind of situations, but the ease of how you can get going with the TikTok Shop, I think is probably the easiest one. And the lowest, barrier to entry that I've ever seen. Would you agree to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely would agree with that.
So before we wrap up, any last piece of advice for someone who wants to start this or who has just started this, but, feeling the punch, they're not getting the sales, they're getting demotivated, or whatever the reason be. Any last piece of advice you want to share with them?
Just keep posting. Don't give up. If you've been posting consistently for maybe a month and nothing is working, just change it completely and try something else. Look at what videos may have done well and try and repeat the process with those. Just analyze everything, but don't give up, because all you need is for a couple to hit off and your whole life could change. Like, I'm a totally different person now. I feel like I am anyway. I'm so much more confident. I'm so much more happy. And it's down to TikTok. Like, I think about if I was still working the job that I was doing, it actually makes me feel a bit ill. So just if you're committed to changing your life and you want to do it full time, just keep posting, be committed, and don't give up, as tempting as it may be. There we go.
So there you go, guys. Really, really wise word from the queen of TikTok. How has this changed your life?
I can't even put into words how much it's changed everything for me, my family, just our way of life, how happy I am just to do this, because I really enjoy it and I love it. So for that, it just makes such a difference. It just means I've got the freedom to spend more time with my daughter. I can go on holiday when I like. I'm my own boss. I don't have somebody telling me what to do or, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just recommend it to anybody. If you want to try something different, take a risk, take a leap and give it a try. Do it alongside your job. Don't just quit it after a couple of weeks. Just build it up and you can do it. But it's life-changing. It really is. And I couldn't be more happy. Even if it ends tomorrow, I'm still the happiest person in the whole wide world.
That's good. Sometimes it's not just about money.
No.
For everyone, it could be a different why. The reason why they want to start something like this on a side or a full-time basis. But trust us, guys, we got nothing to sell you a course or anything here. But I'm genuinely saying this, and I've said this to so many of my friends, which I'm sure you must have as well, that give it a try. If it doesn't work, it's not costing you anything, first of all. But it might work out. It might work out. Just like, look at Charlotte. I mean, she's being interviewed. She's, doing a talk on the stage shows. She's now getting an award from the TikTok as well. I mean, your life can change really, really fast, guys. So definitely go for this. And big shout out to TikTok Shop and TikTok for making this, easily achievable. So once again, thank you so much for everyone who's been listening to this podcast, guys. If you have any questions for me or Charlotte, I'm sure she's very busy usually, but I will make sure that she answers any questions you have for us. Put them in the comment section in the video below, and we will try to answer as much as we can. Charlotte, once again, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story and journey and knowledge with us. I'm sure it's not only me, but everyone who's listening this is definitely, who listens to this podcast, will go out from here and achieve much more, even if it's their first sale or whether they are already a TikTok shop creator. They will definitely better out themselves and have that leap of faith now that this can definitely change their life. Whether it's, as I said, whether it's just to make that extra £200 or $200 if you're in the US or somewhere else, be with your kids a little bit more than what you usually get with your part-time job. If you are a wannabe mom and you're worried, how you're going to earn when you have your kid, all these things can be easily taken care of if you start your journey with this a little bit of faith that this can work for you. I know I said I'm going to wrap this up in 1 hour, so I do apologize, Charlotte, that it did take a little bit longer.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, guys, anyone listening to this, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out any upcoming videos. Again, thank you for tuning into Talkcast. I'm your host, Charz. See you in the next one. Until then, peace.
Bye, everyone.